Hello, welcome back. In my last video, I detailed the growing popularity of spirituals and how the camp meeting was able to bring the spirituals to a larger audience. In this video, I'm going to discuss the spirituals' biggest role, and that was in getting slaves to freedom on the Underground Railroad. As I mentioned in the previous video, the first large published versions of Negro spirituals wasn't until 1867, Slave Songs of the United States. Slave Songs of the United States was a collection of 136 spirituals collected by three abolitionists named William Francis Allen, Charles Picard Ware, and Lucy McKim Garrison. William Francis Allen traveled the most extensively out of the three throughout the South. During the Civil War, he and his wife ran a school for newly emancipated slaves on the Sea Islands in South Carolina. Eventually, he made his way to Arkansas working amongst black Civil War refugees. While working as a professor, he wrote extensively on the spirituals and was able to co-author the book by 1867 with the help of Ware and Garrison, whom he met and did abolitionist work in South Carolina. This book gave whites a glimpse into how were able to escape, evade, evade slave patrols, locate abolitionists, and etc. The Underground Railroad is known most notably for Harriet Tubman, and for good reason. Miss Tubman made 13 successful missions back into the South, saving around 70 slaves without ever being captured. But it but it was but it was active for almost 2 centuries prior to Harriet Tubman and the Civil War. Though the Underground Railroad by the time of the Civil War became known for its routes north and into Canada. However, in actuality, it was not as simple. It took it took many slaves in the deep south further south into Spanish Florida and west into Native American territories in Mexico. One of the main reasons for the U.S. purchase of Florida, if not the main reason, through the Adams-Onis Treaty, was to prevent the massive migration of escaped slaves into Florida, seeking refuge in Florida or the Caribbean. In fact, of the 368 men who voted to incorporate the city of Miami, 162 of them were black, mostly descended from escaped slaves and people from the Bahamas. The Indian territories were typically safe havens for slaves and also were typically safe havens for slaves also. And after Mexico outlawed slavery in 1829, the amount of blacks, mostly from Texas and Louisiana, seeking refuge there increased steadily. So as you can clearly see, the Underground Railroad didn't just run in one direction. So from heading south into Spanish Florida up the East Coast and into Canada and west through Native American territories into the present day Midwest, Mexico, and Oklahoma. It's easy to see how music spread and influenced different art forms as taken from different regional sounds. This was an example of the music traveling because of the people. We typically think we typically think people have to travel for the music. For example, you go to a big city to get a record deal or to see a show, but this was the other way around. The music traveled because of the people, and they took it everywhere they went. It is truly amazing that people who weren't allowed to learn how to read and write were able to come up with a coded language that outsmarted the very people who made it illegal to teach them to read and write in the first place. In the next video, I'm going to discuss the factors that led to gospel and the secular forms of music that would come after that, such as the blues, jazz, and R&B. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.